Hi, boys and girls. Today is our library day. It's Tuesday, and since we cannot be with Mrs. Butterini, I thought that I would bring story time to you as usual. So, I have a story here called The Great Fuzz Frenzy, and it was written by Janet Stevens and Susan Stevens Crummel. And it was actually a book recommended by Miss Coney. She says it's very funny, so I hope we enjoy it. So, as usual, I will read the words first, and then I'll show you the pictures, all right? Down it went. Boink, boink, run for your life! Thump, thump! Got fancy pages. Watch out below! Rumble! Rumble! Help! 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 It is off to a funny start, Miss Coney. What do you think is happening? I don't know. Plunk! There it sat, perfectly still. The prairie dogs waited, perfectly still. So these animals are called prairie dogs. And this is what rolled its way down, looks like into their habitat. So where do prairie dogs live then? These animals kind of remind me of another animal. Maybe you know which one I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of gophers. They live kind of underground. They have these underground tunnels, and there's a whole bunch of them. So this ball looks like rolled down through one of the holes at the top. And now it's just sitting there, and the prairie dogs don't know what to do. Do you think prairie dogs have ever seen a tennis ball before? What if you had never seen something and then all of a sudden it was in your home? How would you feel? Slowly they crept out, inch by inch, dog by dog. What is it? A thing. A good thing or a bad thing? A round thing. Strange thing. A scary thing. What should we do? Don't touch it! Is it alive? Shh! Okay, so there's lots of feelings going on here. These prairie dogs are having lots of different feelings. Some of them are curious. Some of them are scared. Some of them are a little bit worried. Some of them are surprised, confused, unsure. So lots of different feelings going on here. If you were a prairie dog and you were in this exact situation, how do you think you would feel? Stand back, boomed a voice. You act like gutless groundhogs, afraid of your own shadow. Oh no, it's Big Bark. Big Mouth is more like it. He's the meanest dog around. I thought he left town. Well, I'm back, growled Big Bark. So out of my way. Let me have a look. So I think this one is Big Bark. Were you thinking the same thing? What are some adjectives that we might use to describe this character so far? We only just met him, but what are some adjectives we can think of right away that describe this character, Big Bark? What do you think? anyone could move, little Pipsqueak raced past Big Bark, reached out, and poked the big round thing. "No!" the crowd yelled. "It's Fuzzy," said Pip. "Ooh," the crowd gasped. A tiny piece of fuzz was caught in Pip's claw. She looked at it, turned it, sniffed it. Then she put it on her head. "Look at me." "Ah," the crowd sighed. "Quit hamming it up, you half-pint hamster," snarled Big Bark. "I'm in charge." Okay, so getting to know a few more of the characters. So how would you describe Pipsqueak? What kind of character is she? What are some adjectives that you would use to describe Pipsqueak? How would you compare Pipsqueak to the other character? What was his name? Big Bark? How are they similar? How are they different? But those prairie dogs didn't listen. They had to have Fuzz. "I like it. Me too. I want some. Do you?" "Oh, yes. So do I. So do we. So do they." "Big Bark, move over. Get out of my way." They charged past him and grabbed at the Fuzz. Okay, so now this is a good example of how feelings can change, because at first, remember, lots of them were feeling scared, nervous, a little uncomfortable about the situation. And now, after Pipsqueak sort of modeled how to approach this tennis ball, how to pull some of its fluff off, now they all want to participate. So feelings can change. It's one thing I'm noticing. The prairie dogs pulled it, puffed it, stretched it, fluffed it, tugged it, twirled it, spiked it, swirled it. They fuzzed their ears, their heads, their noses. They fuzzed their feet, their tails, their toeses. Big Bark was beside himself. "Listen to me, you ridiculous rodents. Stop this fuzzy foolishness." Do they look like they want to stop this fuzzy foolishness? Or do they look like they're enjoying it? To me, they look like they're kind of enjoying it. And I'm wondering, I'm curious to know why Big Bark is so opposed to them touching this tennis ball. I'm wondering why. What's the reason? Any guesses? Predictions? But those prairie dogs didn't listen. They were busy being hot dogs and silly dogs, corny dogs and frilly dogs, top dogs, funny dogs, super dogs, bunny dogs. "You're all nuts, you squirrely fuzz freaks," yelled Big Bark, storming off. Okay, so the prairie dogs are continuing to have lots of fun with this fuzz that they've discovered in their habitat, but Big Bark is seeming a bit angry. No one is listening to him. They're all touching the fuzz, and I'm wondering still, why is he so upset? Is he concerned about what this fuzz is because they're not familiar with it? Is he uncomfortable, kind of for the same reason? Is he worried, maybe for the same reason? Is he mad that just nobody is listening to him? I'm not sure. By the way, which of these prairie dogs is your favorite right now? I really like this one. News of the fuzz spread from hole to hole, burrow to burrow, town to town. Soon, prairie dogs from everywhere were coming to see that Fuzz. They came, they saw, they picked. Okay, so they've got the most popular burrow in town, it sounds like. So I'll zoom in here. All right. So just like gophers, they go through. I'm wondering if prairie dogs is a fancy word for gopher. I don't know. Something for me to Google later. So they enter through the ground. They go underground. And what's interesting is they have all these tunnels going different ways. Looks like they share their habitat too with some other types of animals, like some insects, some bugs down there. They twisted it, braided it, danced and paraded it. It was a fuzz frenzy, a fuzz fiesta, a fuzz fandangle. The whole prairie was abuzz about Fuzz. How do you think they're feeling now? They've all been experimenting with this Fuzz. How do you think they're feeling now? Maybe you zoom in on some of their faces. Kind of think about, what are you noticing about their faces that are giving you a clue about how they're feeling now about the Fuzz? Remembering, over time, feelings can change. They picked and pruned and pulled and pinched. They pinched and pulled and pruned and picked until the Fuzz ran out. That big round thing was fuzzless, naked as a plucked chicken. Some prairie dogs got a lot of fuzz. Some got a little. Some got no fuzz at all, and they were mad. Give me that fuzz. Why? Because it's my fuzz. Well, it was. Get that fuzz. Get that fuzz. Okay, so again here, now that the fuzz has run out, we're noticing some changes again in feelings. How do you think they're feeling now? Some of them. There's kind of two groups maybe, right? So groups of prairie dogs who have the fuzz and another group of prairie dogs who do not have any fuzz. So how do you think the prairie dogs who don't have any fuzz are feeling? How do you think the prairie dogs who have the fuzz are feeling? Okay, so another change in feelings. Feelings are temporary. Pulling, grabbing, swiping, nabbing, poking, jabbing. It was a war! War between the Fuzzes and the Fuzz Knots. Their peaceful town was a battleground. It was a fuzz fight, a fuzz feud, a fuzz fiasco. I started this, moaned Pipsqueak. I have to do something. Everyone, stop! Stop fighting! So in this moment, Pipsqueak is feeling responsible for starting this battle between all of the, what did they call them? The Fuzzes and the Fuzz Knots. Feeling responsible. She's feeling responsible for starting this fight between all of them. So she's trying to get some peace here. But those prairie dogs didn't listen. The battle raged on, friend against friend, cousin against cousin, dog against dog, until no one was left standing. They were pooped, fuzzled out, fast asleep. Hours later, the prairie dogs began to stir. Uh-oh. Where's the fuzz? I don't know. Where did it go? Someone has stolen our fuzz! Cried Pipsqueak. Who did? He did. She did. You did. Oh no. So they woke up. all the fuzz is gone, and now they're arguing again with each other. Seems like maybe they need to work a little bit on teamwork and communication. Instead of accusing one another of taking all of the fuzz, what would be a better solution in this situation? What would be a better solution than accusing one another of stealing all the fuzz? What would be better? I'm thinking maybe brainstorming different possibilities together, especially because in this picture, at least, I don't see any of the fuzz. So the likelihood that someone here took it, in my mind, seems kind of low. Seems like maybe somebody else took it. And they were having all those visitors from other places coming in to check out the fuzz. So maybe someone from somewhere else took some of it. Or all of it. I just saw. Okay. I did, barked a voice from above. I stole the fuzz! The prairie dogs froze. Then they raced up the long tunnel. There stood, do you know who? One guess. Big Bark, covered with fuzz from head to tail. I'm king of the fuzz, he snarled. Do you hear me? I'm king of the... It looks pretty funny to me. Swoop! The sky went black. I wonder what could have caused the sky to go black. What happened? Where's Big Bark? Look! There he was, high above their heads, dangling from the talons of an eagle. No more Big Bark, the crowd cheered. Yay! Don't yay! He's one of us, yelled Pip. We have to save him. How would you like to be Eagle's lunch? No! The crowd yelled. So again, here we're learning a little bit about Pip's character. So how would you describe Pip here in this situation? How would you describe her? Maybe caring. She's confident. She can save him. She can help him. She's kind. I feel like she's flexible because even though Big Bark hasn't been super kind to everybody in their community, Pip still feels like it's their responsibility to look out for Big Bark. So she's kind of flexible there too. What other adjectives can you think of? Big Bark, wiggle free, the prairie dog shouted. Shake loose! Hurry! We'll catch you! We'll catch you! Big Bark twisted and turned, wormed and squirmed. At last, he was free of the fuzz! Yay! The crowd cheered. Big Bark fell faster and faster. No! Prairie dogs scattered. Get back here, yelled Pip. Quick! Make a circle. Hold out your paws! They ran left. They ran right, then left. So this part has me thinking that this is a really good example of the difference that teamwork can make. Earlier in the story, I asked you what some things are that they could work on, and we named maybe like communicating better, working as a team. And here you can see that they're really working together to save Big Bark, and it looks like it's going a lot better. So I'm feeling like teamwork is really important here. Plop! You saved me, Big Bark cried. But I stole your Fuzz. Now it's gone forever. Good, said Pipsqueak. Fuzz is trouble, right? Yay! The crowd cheered. Friend hugged friend, cousin hugged cousin, dog hugged dog. We don't need Fuzz, said Pip, but with the eagle around, we do need a watchdog with a big... I wonder with a big what? What do you think? A big... Bark! Big Bark rose up on his hind legs. Eagle's back. Bark! This is not a test. Bark! All dogs below. Bark! I wonder what that sounds like I wonder if they really make a barking noise. And I'm curious to know what that sounds like if they do. The prairie dogs raced down, down, down the long tunnel. Looks like they've got some ways to go. Whew, we made it. That was close. 3 cheers for Big Bark, the best watchdog ever. Yip, yip, yay! Yip, yip, yay! Yip, yip, yay! Just doing my job, Big Bark smiled. Are we ever getting tangled up with Fuzz again? Cried Pipsqueak. No! The crowd yelled. No more Fuzz! No more Fuzz! And from that day forward, the prairie dogs lived happily and fuzzlessly ever after. Now there's no words, but this is the picture at the back. Okay, so we have a bonus activity. We have a bonus activity to go with this book. So if you already listened to the whole story, you might have gotten some ideas of what you might do with the Fuzz if you were one of the prairie dogs in that hole. So think about, what would you do with the Fuzz if you were a prairie dog in this situation? And I'm going to have you create some sort of an art project using whatever materials you have, whatever you can think of, that would tell the story of what you would do with the Fuzz if you were a prairie dog in this situation. So your assignment, it's optional, it's a bonus activity, but I am challenging you to put yourself in the position of a prairie dog. And if you were one of these prairie dogs living in that habitat, in the burrow, what would you do with the Fuzz? Can you create a piece of artwork telling the story of what you would do with the Fuzz if you were one of these prairie dogs? You might draw a picture of a prairie dog and then dress yourself in the Fuzz, like some of them did in the book, but you might have different ideas of what you might do with the Fuzz if you were one of the prairie dogs. So I want for you to create an art project sharing what you would do with the Fuzz if you were a prairie dog. And if you do this bonus activity, be sure to post a picture or a video to share on Seesaw. All right? Have fun! Hope you liked the book. Thanks, Miss Coney, for the recommendation. It was a great one.